This young man passed away from AIDS-related pneumonia, or so it is said. Now, I'm talking about Eazy or Eric Wright. What he's talking about, and he wants me to word this carefully because it has to do with April 9th, 2020 and what's going on in the world and what's going on with these infections that he says are AIDS-related. This is what he's saying. Same different day. This is what he's saying. That's interesting because everybody that's getting this right now, whatever this is, they're not out doing things that would be, quote, an AIDS type of behavior. Now, this is kind of interesting. His mother was dialed up in the community, slightly politically, but the mom had connections. He was kind of guided by his mother to do these things, and she stepped out of the way to let certain friendships and connections fall into place. But I'm being shown a guy in a suit, a white guy in a suit. And that guy in the suit is somebody that had connections with the mother. This is at like city council meetings or talking in the community. This is a white dude. He's connected politically. He's connected in service. People listen to him. He's commanding. He's got a placid face, but underneath he's a okay, so that's my word for him. He's a businessman, and he's not a compassionate or spiritual. He was friends with the mother. When the cousin died, this businessman had a hand in that. Nobody knew it, but he did. He took the cousin out because the cousin was smart-mouthed, period, end of conversation. Smart-mouthed, I'm taking you out, you talk too much, you're too big for your britches, you are boom out, okay? This businessman was somebody that people looked up to in the neighborhood or surrounding neighborhoods, okay? But underneath, he was all gangster. I'm talking about the guy in the suit. So when Eazy took over for his cousin, so to speak, that was not by accident. That was by design, perfect design, because they targeted this kid. Whatever was said, Mr. Businessman stepped right on up and put his eye on the target, which was Eazy-E. So Eazy started doing what his cousin had done, and he didn't mouth off. He wasn't on drugs. He didn't blow up. Business dude over here is the one that gave him the money to start Ruthless Records with Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, okay? The businessman was the one that gave him the money, okay? Maybe it was a loan, maybe it was like he had 20 grand and the businessman had like 120 grand. So he's like, dude, I'll give you this if once you get this going, you do this, this, and this. So it was pay for play for Eazy-E. It wasn't him coming up with all that money himself. Not saying he didn't make a shitload doing the dealing stuff. It was directly connected to Mr. Businessman who came in. I'm calling him Mr. I don't know who this guy is. I feel like he's still alive though, and I feel like he still has some kind of political pull in the world. Mr. Businessman had a lot of stuff that he wanted Eazy to do and deliver. So he had a way in. Eazy was the front man for what this guy was doing behind the scenes, which was interesting, and that's how he met his manager, that Jerry Heller guy. They're connected like that. It wasn't happenstance. It wasn't that. Jerry was brought in, do your work, wrap it up over here. That's what it was. It was very much like that. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm very strong about that. So Eazy did not know what he was involved in fully. He's just looking at the big picture. He's like, I'm gonna get this. At the time that Eazy died, he wasn't so upset with Dr. Dre. That I don't get that, actually. But when I mention the name now, he kind of turns his head like, that's enough. Like there's a shutdown to that. There's some knowledge about who Dr. Dre is now that Eazy pushes back. And it's not from back in the day when he was alive, when whatever bullshit happened. It's not from that time frame. He's telling me he was double-crossed, and he's saying about Suge Knight, but it's him being double-crossed. Well, how's that get you now? Double-cross, 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 all the way down, including to Suge Knight in jail, and on it will go. There's some kind of double-cross where I go over here and I go to Dr. Dre. That's coming up. That hasn't happened yet. I know that people thought Suge Knight did something or somebody did something to him. I am literally saying probably 5 months before he passed away, this is what I'm being shown. I'm seeing his mouth open and I'm seeing a doctor look down his throat. So there was some kind of a virus that would cause him to go to the doctor. They're swabbing his throat. So this is like strep throat. Do you have like, what's wrong with your throat? Sore throat, inflamed throat. Let's take a culture. They put the culture in his mouth, swabbing his throat with fucking AIDS on it, and it went straight down there. So he was having digestive problems and pneumonia problems And doesn't that sound familiar right now? He's saying they swabbed my throat, okay, for like strep throat. I had a sore throat. I had to feel better. He's saying they swabbed his throat. When he realized on his deathbed how he got there, somebody told him. Somebody came in the room and somebody told him, there, bitch, this is why. Now, do you know why it happened? Well, I don't really know why it happened. I'm just going on what the energy is telling me. Why it happened is at the time that he passed. Don't trust the manager. The manager was complicit in it. Businessman over here, manager Jerry Heller over here. These two fucks were they worked together. He had other things he wanted to do. He put his foot down. He, like his cousin, got too big for his britches and put his foot down. Not doing this. Not doing this with you. Manager, get out. Going away, manager. This was unacceptable. Business dude needed Eazy in the position he was in to do stuff that he was doing. And here's the kicker. None of these people actually had him killed, but it was a political hit. That's what it was. A higher up government official under a particular person in office, whatever, I'm not going to say the name, or governmental organization that begins with a C and ends with an A. Because as I'm saying this, I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble for this. It's connected to that. And this was orchestrated much like the drugs that he sold. It came straight down from there. We need to infiltrate this into this community, get this young kid whose cousin just died because this cousin wasn't going to do this bullshit. This cousin was like, I'm drawing the line. I'm going to do it my way. I don't have to do your way. We're good with this. This new substance comes in, out it goes. Not even thinking shit, just doing my shit. I'm a kid. We all do shit. Okay, doing that. What else comes out of a lab? The swab comes out of the lab. What is on the swab is 60 times stronger, right out of a petri dish, deliberate. So he had no choice. And with him, it just happened to hit that area of his body. Political hit, I'm gonna say it again, out of a lab. And he's referencing this on April 9th. 2020. Connection 95, March 26th, April 9th, 2020, in the time frame of Aries. What is going on now was going on then, but just different. The more that I do these videos, especially on the rappers, I really feel like they're the ones that are against the establishment and directly with the establishment. It's like a weird feeling. Thank you guys. And once again, my name is Sloan from SloanBella.com.